has a new minus armor talent, which I know you love mentioning.
I do. It's
the armor corruption to Visage Familiars, right? Level 15 talent.
1.5 each.
Yeah. Which means every attack, right? So they all stack together, which totals 4.5, right? Which is good. And then Hoodwink can also get a Blightstone, kind of a cheap item to just get an extra -2, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can really amplify that physical damage.
What did it now? Let's see. Yeah, Greevil's Greed level 1, right? You get those bounties, okay.
I mean, you're carry, right? So that's that's how you play it.
Liquid will get 2. And we can see that little difference, right? That extra 40 gold from the Greevil's Greed. It's counted.
Yep.
JJ bug tested this one.
That said, the Troll is a really good pick against Alk. It is a very solid pick because the Troll is in general very good against these like super farming carries, because in a 1v1 scenario, Troll can win with even 1 item behind, even 2 in some situations.
And I actually think like Troll has got the trump card. If this goes super late game with that 25 talent, I just never see Matumba being able to win a 1v1, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Battle Trance hard dispels. What do you do as Alk? You're used to just jumping on someone with your upgraded blink, bashing them with your upgraded basher and your other 6 items, and then this guy just presses 1 button. Dumbest hero in the game presses 1 button and counters you.
We'll also say though, the World Axis piercing spell immunity, kind of a consideration in this game if you have like an Axe build, because 4 seconds blind essentially on the Alk. Yeah, there could be a lot of stuff.
I find myself every single time it's a good troll game, I also find myself saying this is a good Axe game as well.
No, not the Axe. I mean, only as a late game item because of the level 25 talent. Yeah. Because it reduces the cooldown to 4 seconds. It's a perpetual blind on Alk, right? He does have 1 or 2 dispels, but you usually use BKB and Chemical Rage to initiate the fight, right? So, I must say, there's a lot of cool things. I think Troll in general is very good. Alk, though, because of his burst nature that you just implied, and of course, because he's combined with a DK, pretty good against the Storm. Because you burst him down from 100 to 0 kind of quickly.
Now, hold that thought. Speaking of the potential save, Maposhka could have used 1 there, as Insania will shut the door there. Big kill there. That's going to be the hero that could potentially save this. Another one? 425 talent. This Collapse is going to be in for a rough time here, Avo.
Yeah. You have Leech Sheet again as well. Collapse, only 1 point in After Fiora yet, because level 2. So they're going to take 2 kills. That Unstable Concoction, very underrated skill in general, especially in the Alk offlane. That's one of my favorite parts of the hero. This stun is amazing. The early damage is really good. The early max stun is actually kind of respectable. Cooldown's kind of low. And now it gives you a move theme bonus, something that people kind of forget. It's been a while since they added this, which allows you to chase targets, especially early, much easier.
Yep. That was also +6 on the last hit for Collapse, so he's making smiles already.
Yeah, exactly, right? Collapse is just a big creep from Matumbaman. It's a good start. He's going to go for Soul Ring as well. He's going to go for Helm, so we might be seeing the Armlet build on Alchemist that we used to see. I wonder if he's going to build the Battle Fury. That was the last time we saw Alchemist. It was the Battle Fury build to cover for the lack of mana region on Chemical Rage. As Miposhka, they go for him again. This time the Inkswell drives away Matumbaman, but Insania will keep hitting Miposhka as Matumba is driven away. Insania realizes he can't quite kill Miposhka. Matumbaman also will not die.
He's good to go. You can see Insania, Stockholm Soul is doing really well.
I mean, this is great. I love that he picked also such long names that he can't actually fit it into the extra part. It's Los Angeles, right? Not Los Angeles.
Yeah, so I'm just taking a peek here, Avo. Not very many. Hold that thought. Collapse might be in for some more trouble. Well, from the Boschka, very good use him off. Liquid have got good respect for that. And actually, Insania is going to be taking a little bit of a bruising on his way out. What I did want to say is just taking a quick peek at Dota2 Pro Tracker. Only 30 games on the carry Elk, 33% win rate. Not amazing, but it does seem like it's Battle Fury, Silver Edge. It seems to be. Okay. Yeah.
But the helm, that's what I'm wondering. Is the helm armlet, right? I presume, or is it just a casual helm?
It's probably armlet. Armlet does pop up in here as well.
Okay, yeah, because
25% of games.
Yeah, that's good. I can see the armlet being really good. The extra armor from armlet is fantastic against heroes like Troll, right? And he's your main counter this game. The Underlords is a bit of a nuisance against, obviously, the Armlet. A lot of it is base stats, and so that aura will get stronger, but you're just gonna have to deal with him. I think Alk will have such a ridiculous amount of damage because of the power spike and, you know, how much you farm. You don't really concern yourself with Atrophy Aura as much.
Little change note as well that went under the radar for me on Unstable Concoction, as I thought we heard one. It also damages and stuns non-hero units within the radius, so it's a little bit of a farming tool now.
Well, you have to hit. You can only target heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in the lane, you can use it to help CS.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, there's some use to that. I actually like that. Yeah, he is going for the acid spray though. To farm.
Of course. I mean, yes, it's an alchemist. He's not going to change that much. I was just looking to see any major.
No, that is really cool. I agree.
Yeah, Toro is going to be able to make it out of that bottom scrap alive, as I was given chase.
MATUMBAMAN just continues to farm bottom lane. Not the easiest for the Dragon Knight. Probably doesn't die against Troll, but you don't do much. Once you get the Whirling Axis blind as a DK, you're screwed. You can barely see. Well, actually, he's not carrying a helmet this time. But that blind really stops you from doing the usual thing DK likes, which is just keep hitting the enemy hero, ignore everything. He's also not the fastest hero, so the Illuminates usually hit early. And that makes it so that DK can't have the lane domination we're used to on this offlaner. Troll, definitely one of the best laning carries. Will be going for Battle Fury as well this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. That's a strat. I think like Maelstrom still used to be a very viable option on the Troll for early fighting. Still increases your farming speed. But Battle Fury certainly is going to get you into the later games items a bit earlier, as there goes once again Matumba looking for a kill onto Collapse. And Sania as well is going to get up that Nature's Grasp, but ultimately stopped. As there we go, picture-in-picture. Mira is going to be burned by Zai. Be Zai's first kill in this lane.
Did a good job. He realizes there's no way I kill a Troll. Mira was being a little bit too cocky, right? He was trying to create space for a scary, and as a result, they decided to punish that. And this also enables Boxy to rotate for the rune, but unfortunately, the rune is stopped in Toronto, Tokyo. We'll be able to get it. It's an Invis rune, not the best early rune for Storm. Is there any kills you can get with this Invis rune? Is Alk possible at all? If you like Inkswell to Storm, perhaps? It's a tall order, though.
Yeah. Alk's pretty tough, right? He has
good base stats.
Exactly. Yeah, his base stats are fairly decent. Starts with 700 HP, you know, 400 mana, 2 to 3 armor with not a great edge gain, sure, but it's a bit tougher to get through.
Yeah. The Helm also helps a lot in this situation.
Yeah, it's very true, right?
Collapse. We'll get the Inkswell stun. And that will be close to killing Insania. Class will commit for this. It's going to be split among the two, but they did finish off the tree.
There goes the Invis rune. Oh, they're going to go for Zai. I thought perhaps the Squirrel for Boxy, but no, instead Zai's the target. As even a little bit of a dive for Toronto, Tokyo, as he does commit for the kill and will be rewarded with the bounty.
Well done. Killing off the DK bottom, certainly an important kill, and a good rotation by the Storm. I wasn't thinking of that being a possibility, but he has max static remnant, so the amount of damage, especially the magical one with the kotl, is pretty high. Enough to kill a DK, apparently, even with double bracer and treads. Also, maybe you could also argue that the Hoodwink is not the best defensive support for these situations. Like, you can bushwhack and that's it, but they cut down the tree, especially with 3 heroes ganking you. And one having Ball Lightning, you essentially need to get a 3-man bushwhack, or it's impossible to save your TK.
And it's very rare to be. I mean, you're ganking a Hoodwink lane, right? You know what to look out for.
Exactly.
It's
that's
one thing.
Alright, they do get the pushback and Dragon Tail combo nicely. Liking a bit of damage. Acorn shot for a little bit more vision. But it's not going to be enough to kill off Yatoro. Remember that Berserker's Rage does give a little bit of extra armor, so he's going to be able to sustain himself nicely.
Yeah, a bit of move speed and range for him, and more... No, armor is it? In the melee, it's one or the other.
Yeah, melee is the armor.
Yeah, thank you.
Everything is melee, actually. They're like, alright, you either get range or you get stats.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And the range is going to be useful, while Zai as well has a little bit of range to play with himself as Toronto, Tokyo. To be TPing back down bottom, actually, is where the action is. They're going to go for Zai a second time. This was a move that they made last game to try and stop Zai from pushing too early on. And this time, the Hoodwink will connect the stun there on Toronto, Tokyo. That'll at least save Zai this time around. Every single time, though, they look to go bottom. And every time Storm leaves the lane, Visage is starting to lurk closer and closer to that tower.
He is. And he's going to go for full Vlad. So this is more like the offlane Visage build, right? Do you think it's going to be the Wraith fact? Or would he build a Helm?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't think you build a Helm started by the Vlads, right?
That's a really good question. I think it's a later upgrade. I think it's a later upgrade for the Visage. I think perhaps you're just going to want to go for the Aura Visage in the lane.
Like drums, Vlads, and then eventually Wraith back.
Yeah. And then maybe at that stage of the game, you see what's giving you problems. Maybe you want to pick up a Harpy, right? Synergizes well with your birds anyway. Give them vision to go in further.
Oh, so you could build a Helm regardless. Okay, I guess the option store.
It ain't a bad item for the Visage. It's always been a popular item for him.
Yeah. I mean, I guided myself on the core visages because we mostly see offlane, right? But the only person that consistently plays this core has been the Hawk, right?
Yeah.
And he does like the aura visage. He likes drums and assault. I have not seen him build Vlads on that hero, but of course he's a carry, not as useful. But I'm interested in Mickey's build. He used to be a Visage player, and I think now that it's back in meta, he's excited.
You know what? I reckon Insania and Collapse, they get along really well.
All the high fives.
They've been, I mean, Collapse, he can't really kill Insania. It's a bit of an ask, right? Insania, he's just here. But look at this. It's just a gentleman's agreement.
They have the same voice lines as well, which I think is real cute.
Yeah. That is great to see. I love seeing the Dota 2 camaraderie, especially now that we're back on LAN.
Yeah, they get to meet each other afterwards, play a little bit of ping pong. We do have a table for them.
Rock, paper, scissors, right?
Rock, paper, scissors, the big one. Matumba always wins.
Been training them.
Yeah,
you never think he's gonna not go rock, and man, he just does it again.
Just does it every time.
Every time.
It's impressive. The Alk is going to be able to finish off a stack. It was the armor, by the way, we're talking about. And now the question is, will he go for the Valkyrie build we've been saying, or something completely different?
Yeah, it's I imagine it's the first time out.
Oh, Radiance! Interesting.
Oh, that's vintage.
That's old school, yeah.
That's vintage. I mean, you talk about old school Alk builds. You throw Alchemist in there. Sorry, you throw the Armlet in there. You gotta give a nod towards the Radiance. That's the second time we've seen a Radiance today, even.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been actually purchased a little bit. The Hawk did it on Necrophos as well. Hector did it on Lifestealer, which, that's a whole other thing. MATUMBAMAN, though, what I'm interested, if you haven't really been following the Alk trends, the reason why it was shifted to Battle Fury is that reduction in mana regen, as by the way, they go here for the Visage. And with the help of Collapse, it's going to be an easy kill. Collapse goes back home. He's done with this.
Yep. See you later. I'm back to pushing top. I want to go back to my friend Insania.
It took Familiars as well, so that's an extra 200 gold from Toronto to Tokyo.
Oh, that is big. Yeah, that's pretty big.
30 seconds off Familiars is a big deal. Anyway, the reason they went back to...
Real quick, Abba, sorry. The biggest deal on why Storm is actually really darn good against the Visage is that the overload damage is dealt as a second stack, which is...
2 instances of damage.
2 instances, which does break through 2 stacks of the cloak. It's pretty brutal for the hero. You can think of this much like OD's Arcane Orb versus a TA Refraction.
That's very good. That's very good. We'll see what they can do up top, by the way, as they push this tower. There is the living armor, 3 points already in it. But with 3 heroes knocking your tower, probably going to fall. Hey, the point is, it's a very simple one, but in case you've been following the Alk, you build Battle Fury these days essentially for the Mana Regen and the Chemical Rage. They're both do the same thing as Radiance. It has been considered as Radiance is the better build if it wasn't for that Chemical Range nerf, of course. Chemical Rage, yeah. So, if he's going for Radiance, he must think the Mana's not needed. He did go for Soul Ring, which will cover for that. And we'll see if that's going to be enough for MATUMBAMAN as he just continues to farm that big item.
Yeah, Spirit, that is, have been doing a pretty good job at controlling bounties. Normally, I wouldn't ask for this stat super this late in the game, but I'd be curious to see like how many bounties have been claimed by either side. It doesn't really seem like Liquid have prioritized much on it. The multipliers are not that high as it used to be like 8 times or something back in the old days. But it's not that big of a deal anymore. It's only up to 3. So, we'll see if that ends up making a difference as we get more and more higher valued bounties towards the end. For now, in trouble is going to be the Slim Horseman underneath his tier 1 tower. Easy kill there on Tamira for Mickey, and he will join his brother in flight here for this tier 1 tower siege.
There we go, Liquid trying to... This time is different, right? When they're taking towers, it's not to oppress the enemy team like they did last game. The goal is to create space for the Alchemist here, as Matuma can't really, or isn't that useful at joining engagements. He can only really shove lanes in the early game. We'll see what Toronto Tokyo will do, or sorry, what TSpirit will do, because Jenkins is right on the money. They don't really have the best ganking squad against the Alk. It's Storm and I guess helpers, but it's really just the Storm they have to play around.
And I'll just say one quick thing about the Radiance, because it did slightly change. Hold on. Oh, no, it's Toronto Tokyo, just farming a wave. It now gives, they broke the evasion or the miss rate into 2 components. Now it grants you 15% evasion, while also the burn rate of still 10%.
Yeah.
So it used to be enemies would BKB and they would ignore it. Now you still at least keep that passive component, which is maybe going to make a difference versus a troll. We'll see.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad point, actually.
15%, it ain't much to write home about. Troll, he's still going to pick up a basher, right? If you bash, you hit the attack anyway. So, it's not going to be a huge deal, but perhaps in these early fights where the armlet and that little miss rate, it might make a bit of a difference in mano a mano.
Especially because you can arm the toggle, right? And that miss rate might make the difference. No, I agree.
Absolutely.
It did make the item slightly better, right?
Yeah.
People considered it more than the trash that it was last patch.
Yeah, and it's 50 gold cheaper, so, you know, hey.
Oh, wow. That's money for the Alc, right? He's very close to it. The team is trying to make a play, but Liquid in a similar position where they don't have the greatest ganking squad. It's really just their two offlaners, which can get solo kills, but they don't want small skirmishes. It's only a simple one-man gank.
Yeah. Zai, he's had Blink Dagger for a while. He's going to be looking for the jump here. Oh, the Dragon Form active.
Nice.
Okay, with the familiars onto the tower as Zai's scouted there, so there's the ruse is up for the Blink.
He is going for the aura build we talked about with drums now. I like this. If you go for this build, yeah, you can actually just gank with the familiars. That's another option, right? You go DK Hoodwink, send the familiars with him, you smoke the familiars alone, Mickey shows up, and they can smell something's going to happen, but you don't need to overcommit for these kills.
I actually think I love the drums because eventually that is going to upgrade into the new this patch, Boots of Bearing, which makes you unslowable now for 1.5 seconds and gives your team a move speed and attack speed buff.
Win Trankles.
Yes. And that's the sign he's clearly interested in. If you look at a lot of Spirit's control, outside of Pit of Malice, it's all slows. It's all slows and leashes. But these guys can communicate, and if you can get out of that pit using your move speed, you're in a pretty good spot.
You know, actually, a huge point is for Solar Bind. Those 1.5 seconds, massive.
There's the Alchemist Radiance, 15-15. I believe Gabby bought one earlier today in our game.
Oh, that's one.
So that's 15-15, of course. Alc is going to beat...
well, is this the best Alc Radiance timing this patch?
I believe it is. It's also the worst one. And I believe this is also our worst bit.
Oh, no, look. It's slower than this patch average.
Yes,
It was 60 matches. Okay.
Again, I could only find 30 pro matches this past... Or sorry, 30 Immortal
That's
level
a great stat. Thank you so much.
This past week. Yeah, so it's not even super popular on the people that are.
I'm assuming it's slower because of the armlet, though, right? Maybe other Alcs that
Very true.
Armlet?
Yeah, very true.
It didn't seem like he was hunted or Matoma made any mistakes this game. He's going to go for BKB next as well. They're going to play around his timings mostly. If you're Liquid, you're going to skirmish early and then force fights around the Alchemist. I mean, that's what the Alchemist does. And if you're TSpirit, you're just kind of farming, getting yourself ready for this Alchemist fight eventually. Yeah. If you can get kills, but the only good kills on the supports and Visage, right? But Mick has been doing a good job of not showing too much on the map.
And Liquid, I mean, they're so patient. Again, these guys don't want to be making any mistakes. This is a beautiful graph. I think this one's excellent.
Oh,
I mean, you can just see.
Oh, Zai. Okay, he blinked away in time, and Tokyo will not catch him. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he was in a bit of a tricky spot.
Yep.
And, you know, again, the DK with the Fireball, he's going to farm, you know, decently well. He can take the dangerous farm that Alex not interested in. Visage, he can go for these kind of pick-off moves versus a Kotl versus a Grimstroke quite easily. So that's where he can get a bit of extra gold. You know, so the cores and Liquid, they're happy to be fighting. It's not like they have like a Riki or a Slark who's like, come on guys, we gotta go, and this Alc is just sitting back. They've drafted well for it.
Or Tokyo, you'll be trying to just get a bit of farm and hopefully force this tower, but with the living armor, it's just difficult to poke at a tower, right? They kind of have to overcommit for a fight, and they don't want to use Yatoro yet with that Battle Fury.
No, they don't want to use Yatoro, so he's going to have to sit back a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought Lacoste was on the panel. Turns out he's here with me.
He's going to have to sit back a little bit more with the Battle Fury. He needs more items. I mean, this is Matumba. You didn't bother him much in lane. They haven't seen him for a while. That's never a good sign for an Alchemist.
Yep.
So he's, 24 is now the max stack of Greevil's gold, of course. Used to be a lot higher back in the day, 33 or something. Toronto Tokyo. We'll take that DD run. He'll save that 2 minutes. It'll go ahead and sit in the bottle. He may be able to find something with that.
BKB, then smoke. There we go. Play on the BKB timing. AC will be coming out eventually on Matama, but I just want to smoke here. And hopefully catch the storm here. The scan actually detected him. Blink tag on Zai. He activates the Dragon Form and leave it on to Tokyo. He's a bit too quick on the zip. He actually BKB just in case.
Yeah, I wonder what they scouted there. Even Yatoro's going to get out of that one. He BKB'd as he made the zip. He was completely out of mana. That's a normal storm move to make, but they must have gotten a whiff of something. He may have
been hero. DK. Like, he blinked, he bought lightning before he could tell which hero was going on.
Oh, well, there's a stun from Zai. He's going to find someone. It's the Kotl, who's a little bit tanky here, but eventually will burn alive to the radiance or the fire of Zai.
Yeah, the fire of Zai and Matoman combined, right? So much burn here. And They want to turn this ideal into an objective. If in this game, Liquid actually would like to take the tier 1 offlane, because this will allow you to take over the triangle, and Alk is just so strong, especially as Dire, right? Taking over Radiant Triangle allows you to get the shard. Okay, so does he catch it?
He could have caught a glimpse. I love that sound effect as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah, you can do. We got out of that one, guys. We're okay.
Check his armpit to see if it's too sweaty. I like that.
Oh, well, now it's Yatro's turn to sweat. Hard to hide in the trees from a Visage, especially hard to TP in front of the familiars.
No, that's going to be a dead Troll Warlord. Sharpshooter to make sure he couldn't even get his ultimate off. Okay, this camera movement is getting really good, guys.
It's good.
Awesome production.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, and this is the best part about having the players on land, isn't it? We get to...
Yeah, we get to see more than their foreheads, Richie. That's amazing.
It is truly amazing.
They have a camera admin just for these things.
It's continuing to be Liquid. There we go. Well, there's a little bit of forehead action still, but hey, it's MATUMBAMAN is still continuing to siege top lane. He's keen on joining these fights. AC is going to be online.
Nice.
I mean, this is ridiculous GPM. This is certainly going to set GPM records at the rate this game is going. There it is, 800. And that is the highest amount of net worth of a hero at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
16.
Have there been other Alk picks this feature?
No, there has not.
Okay, so that might explain.
If there has been another Alk pick, then it didn't even get a BKB, so that is not a very good Alk here.
As they go for the Rosh now, Matumba does the Chemical Rage ready. That's going to be a fast Rosh with the Familiars. That's on the level 15 talent as well, so look at these timings, right? Really clever.
So what do you think? Is there going to be a window where this Alk falls off? Are we approaching that? Is that what Spirit is playing for?
Am I seeing Scott? No, okay. I was checking if Troll was going to build Scotty. That would be, in my opinion, the window. But with Trolls, the idea is often, I am so strong that I'm going to 100 to 0 the Alk regardless of his healing, right? So Scotty is not necessarily the item. You go more for damage. But the choice for Yatoro God is Manta style into Lincoln Sphere.
Lincoln's blocks a DK stun.
Yeah, blocks Unstable Concoction, which honestly very strong.
Acorn Shot can break it though, good range on that. Visage has a couple of spells that he doesn't mind throwing
Soul
out.
Assumption particularly.
Soul Assumption is particularly strong. 4-second cooldown anyway if you actually need it in a fight, and the range is quite generous, relatively speaking. And it is a Wraith Pact actually from Mickey.
Love it. It's great against Troll, by the way, because he activates ultimate, you put the little totem behind him, does nothing.
I mean, Visage is great in general against Troll ever since the shard, right? You just bonk him now.
It's true. And now Collapse, he thought he could kill him. And perhaps the help in Tokyo, they'll be able to finish off Mickey. He's out of Great Nico's Cloak, which means he's going to fall. But with the help of MATUMBAMAN, they can maybe turn this around. Collapse is a BKB. TP is available, but it's a bit too late. Just came off cooldown, which means he's going to die. And MATUMBAMAN is looking for the supports now. Star Tokyo manages to find Boxy. Boschka is being burnt in the trees. One last chop.
+6.
We'll send this head rolling.
Yeah, Yatoro, again, he knows he does not have the resources to go toe-to-toe right now with this Matumba. I mean, he doesn't know it, but he knows this is a record-setting net worth here right now on this Alchemist. So instead, he goes mano-a-mano with the tier 1 mid lane. Much easier fight, so he is going to at least start to open up the map a little bit more for Spirit. These are important things to take into consideration, right, when we start taking into account, like, Roshan and map movements and making space on the map for you to make plays to get back in this game. It's a 5k net worth lead before this fight, which is pretty commendable considering that there is an Alk in the game.
Yeah, it is. Again, they're doing a decent job of resisting, but MATUMBAMAN, okay, he might bit off more than he could chew. He's not stuck in the pit of malice, however, he does have the Aegis still available, and the BKB, so he thinks, let's go for the kotl. Trying to finish off Mira, nope, change targets, go for Yatoro God instead. Battle Trance is available for him, though, and they know this. They decide to go for Boschka instead, leaving Zai to die.
There it is.
Yatoro, powered by the kotl, that overgrowth got dispelled immediately by the Manta style, Toronto Tokyo, capable of zip-zapping himself to safety. By the way, people asking, why the Manta? It's the Treant. It's the overgrowth. It's a huge nuisance.
It's really difficult. You can see Insanity, he held that in that last replay we saw that we just cut back from. He held it the entire duration of that fight. Even he pump faked it once, not while in vision. He canceled it because he went, no, we're going to win this fight. We got BKBs. We're going to push a tier 2 tower. That's when I'm going to think I'm going to need it. And he's right. If Troll pops his ulti there, he would have been extremely sad to be overgrowth. Can't attack during that one. Can't move during that one.
That's why the Manta style is so clutch, right? And that's why that changed the team fight around. And I don't know if they checked his inventory necessarily, but I'm assuming they did, honestly.
Yeah.
The choice for Matumba to change targets immediately, right? Support, then carry, then support is the acknowledgement that they can't kill the troll. And those quick decisions matter a lot here.
Okay, so a rare push with the first stage. As you can see, Spirit not really expecting this either. They were smoked and heading into the enemy jungle. Instead, they find themselves now quickly and hastily retreating as their tier 3 bottom has just dropped. Good control onto Matumba, but again, he's able to out-heal it. Chemical Rage still had half duration as Yatoro at least looking for Mickey's Eluder summons. Now he's going to be pushed this way, that way, and the Sharpshooter is good, but not enough damage. In the meantime, Toronto Tokyo jumps the backlines. Great pit of malice onto 2. Mickey tanking through everything, though. It's really damage onto Matumba that they're looking at, but he's still with Aegis for another minute. Will now lose it, but with the team fight, doesn't really seem like it'll continue here for Spirit. It will for Liquid.
It will for Liquid, or maybe Zai was just dropping the fireball there. He is still in dragon form for a fair amount of time.
I've got a ward really deep in the base as well for Liquid. That's a great ward. I don't think Spirit, no.
Chemical Rage is up in 6 seconds. They were just waiting for his concoction. However, Matumba has to keep his distance. And they actually found the overgrowth. A good target. It's Mira. A good bite of the kotl. Miposh gets the next target ideally, but he's too far back. Don't want to overcommit like that. Mickey gonna be in trouble himself. Right back as a drop. Now from Matumba as well with Chemical Rage with the axe from the storm. That's gonna try to reset the time fight. He gets caught in the bushwhack, and that kills the Toronto Tokyo. There's a free fight for Liquid now, Richie.
What a play by Boxy, and now look at Insanity. He's been holding down these backliners forever. That double buyback now from Spirit. 2 cores. They need to get big money out from this one, though, but Mickey, he's too tanky. Even that full Pipe of Insight reduces Storm's damage to nil. Fiend's Gate erected means Liquid. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Collapse he's back in, that is. And now Zai is going to be targeted by Yatoro.
Yeah, Zai stuck in the pit of malice. He's going to get rid of the ghost for now, but he just can't get away from the roots. And with Toronto Tokyo coming back in, Zai gets one last stun. Will he die for this? Or will Toronto Tokyo? He does get the BKB just in time as the Unstable Concoction was flying at him. And now the Visage is the target. Mickey sent back. They want this skill. They'll get it. And with a battle trance in the nick of time. Matumba Man now running away from Yatoro God. He is trying to kite him. The stun comes out. Yatoro from God to mortal. Down to the grave he goes. Kotl in the same position. Miposhka will be able to outrun this at the very least.
Dude, Boxy is the MVP there. We have to get a replay of that. That was epic. Matumba kites him back up to the high ground. Boxy uses Scurry to get vision and aggro the troll into the trees, and he just wastes all the entire ultimate.
I would love to see a replay, but Liquid needs to leave the space first, Richie. And
that was so cool. I mean, Boxy is a freaking madman for that play. Yep. Amazing. Long fight. The Wraith Pact actually was dropped in the midst of that engagement, so a lot of that damage was being reduced here. And this is after buybacks, mind you, both on Toronto Tokyo as well as Yatoro here. So this is a desperate moment for Spirit. They need to get way more. The buybacks were pretty good. They had Collapse set up that pit of malice, lots of control, and we'll see shortly here.
Look at that BKB by Toronto Tokyo, by the way. That was clutch, but he got caught anyway.
We'll see here very shortly. Yatoro barely gets this ulti off, and then you'll see Boxy's positioning couldn't be more perfect. He's going to lose up on the high ground, and he goes, hello.
I see. That was very good. That was very, very good. He even dropped the bushwhack just in case the Unstable Concoction.
Look, he's like, yeah, I got him.
I love that he did the bushwhack as well towards the end. In case Concoction didn't hit him in time, Boxy was ready. Boxy, the troll killer here. Love that you mentioned that. Very good stuff.
It's good stuff. That's a great skirmish. It's a long one. Lots of points of inflection. Who needs Elven Tunic? Well, that's fine. We got one. We got one at home. It's AC and Radiance.
Right, yeah. Elven Tunic and AC. Could it be further apart as like what the item represents?
It's a little awkward. Yeah, I mean, just excellent control there. That's been the biggest downfall of this troll hero. He is just, you know what it's doing. As there go the golems.
Yeah, the not controlling your hero in Dota is honestly. What it sucks about this ultimate is that it depends on the enemy team being bad sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
pro play, that never happened.
Too relevant. Was that a second one they just picked up right next to it? That would have been incredible. I mean, it's still on the ground. Liquid could recover it, but right now, all their more kills.
He got the area on Unstable Concoction because of the talent. And that's Yatoro God being bursted 100-0 collapse. Overgrowth, you're not going anywhere, buddy. He does try to open the Fiend's Gate. They need another stun. Now again, channeling it. The silence, that's not the channel, but Dragon Tail will. Collapse will fall. And Liquid get 2 huge kills off an Unstable Concoction. Level 10 talent, Richie.
And most importantly, Zai recovers the drop to neutral item. He picks it back up towards the end of the fight.
He did it.
That's why Liquid are doing here. It's the battle of the neutral items.
The battle of the Elven Tunic.
The tunics, right?
We pushed because I can't believe we lost that tunic.
I mean, it was free. It's starting to look really rough. This is exactly how you want an Alch draft to go.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you're running at him. You're basically 6 slotted. You got lots of gold. This overwhelming blink. That's a buff, really, to the Alchemist. An item that he always pretty much purchased because he does kind of suffer from just randomly, awkwardly walking up to heroes and then getting stunned and kited. But now that you can upgrade that item for more stats and damage and utility, that's pretty good for this guy. What do you think about that?
That's the racks done for them, and because he took the 2 side racks, now it's going to be difficult for TSpirit to regain this last control. Toronto, Tokyo.
Okay, he's just saying, hey guys, null talismans are really good, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Zips in and out with that Fairy's Trinket.
You still have 1 or 2 team fights left in TSpirit. It's not entirely off, especially because Troll, once again, even being 2 items down, or 3 in this case, you can burst on the Alch, but you need to control around it, and you need to stop the hoodwink from, kiting you around with the battle trance.
The fights are really hard, right? Because there's this Wraith Pack, there's this Visage that tanks super well.
Now with the Boots of Bearing as well, makes it really difficult for them to...
Spider Legs is really good because now you can just kind of go in any direction and immediately get out of Pit of Malice, as if that's been an issue for them this game. It honestly really hasn't.
It's true. Yeah. A lot of movement speed on the Alch in general.
Even the pipe from Mickey, it's all auras.
They even went for 2 4-steps as well on the supports here on Liquid, just to cover for the Pit of Malice, because they understood, right? It's just Pit of Malice and a bunch of slows.
The first stacks of the game from Matumba, we've reached that point already. I wonder who he gives this to. Could be for the Visage, DK
yeah,
potentially.
There's a case for DK.
Hunter's Boomerang, I think, is fairly solid, actually.
Sure, I would give it to Core, probably better. I don't know about Mickey though, because he's kind of an aura guy right now, right? So is the actually that useful?
That's why I'm thinking DK or potentially.
Yeah, it's DK.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome, Black Dragon.
Welcome, Black Dragon. Yes, indeed. Upgraded. He's got the level 3 dragon form, so he does fully go. He's got Freedom Flight now as well with Boots of Bearing and all the auras that Mickey is carrying. It's great. I like this flexibility out from Liquid as well, right? As Mickey is very much transitioning to a bit of a different role, and immediately the Black Dragon says hello to Collapse.
They do. They also say hello to Miposhka, who's bursted immediately. Collapse. He'll be in trouble. But he does get the Fiend's Gate. Oh my God, stop this. Collapse, where you going, buddy? Stay here and play, please, as Collapse gets decimated by this team. Boxy in the trees, evading the storm. Toronto Tokyo getting annoyed by the squirrel. The force that Boxy's still alive. Boxy needs to die here, but Toronto Tokyo realizes he has to let him go. Toronto Tokyo did get the kill on Boxy, but with that, he lost his life.
Dieback as well, Avo. I mean, not only was that team fight excellent for Liquid, the voice line usage is also on point. As Liquid will go 2-0. Bit of a faster end this time around with the Alchemist. They make it look good though, don't they?